Hiya Nigel, really good session the other day with the driver. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to run through now what we mentioned and discussed in the session. If we look here on the left hand side, first you can see quite a long way from the ball there, stretching out quite a bit. Your arms, again, good amount away from your legs there. Let's set up. That's going to cause some issues now in terms of your ability to rotate and also force you to sort of stretch for the golf ball as you come back. As we'll see later on in the video, that kind of stretching with the arms and the hands to reach the golf ball is going to generally leave that club face a little bit open out to the right. So because of that sort of stretching and rounded posture, we can see the club now is getting picked up very much on the outside, so the club head halfway back here, very much outside the hands. At this point, what we'll be looking for is the club to be a little bit more on line here, sort of pointing back towards the camera. And as a result of that going sort of outside, at this point now, the club is going back quite stiff. You can see your left knee now starting to activate just because that lack of ability to rotate. Also, as you get to the top of the backswing, as you mentioned in the session, you start cupping that left wrist. So your left wrist sort of cups into this position here now, which kind of helps the backswing be completed. So it'll curve there in the wrist. The problem is, as we said, that's going to open the club face. So at this point here now, you haven't really sort of rotated your body. You kind of lifted your left off the ground and hinged your wrist excessively to get the club back to where you want to get to. Now, because of that ball being so far away over here, you've now got to start throwing your arms way out for the golf ball. So at this point, as the club is coming back in the golf ball, you can see the back here of your left hand kind of pointing up to the sky. And that's going to mean the club face is going to be in a very, very similar position as we come down in. So as you come in the golf ball here now, the arms there reaching out for the golf ball. At this point now, the lead arm there, very much sort of high and underneath with the right arm, just club face wide open, ball now going to be starting off to the right, or we catch the heel of the club and we shove it low left. So what we've got to try to do at address, it did feel a bit strange initially to get that a little bit close to the golf ball. You can see on this right hand one now how, in actual fact, you're not that close to the ball really, but when you stood in this position, you really did feel quite cramped. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but the practice I want you to go through now is that feeling of the left wrist, as we said, being a bit flatter. You can see here now, this is the way we're going to try and feel this movement, okay? Get to the top of the backswing. So the left wrist is flat. This doesn't mean you grip the club tighter or you lock your wrist. We're just trying to control the position that wrist goes in. So you can see the club can't go back as nearly as far, but you're able to rotate now with that better posture. So everything now is going to kind of start hopefully working in sync. So making sort of multiple backswings here now, as we can see, getting that sensation of that left wrist staying a bit flatter. You can still see now the club face visible because the left wrist not collapsing or cupping, meaning the club won't sort of get somewhere down here behind your head. So work on this movement there. And then when you step to the golf ball, getting in that better position, we then just swing the club. You can see here now a much better position. Obviously what's going to happen now, instinct is going to take over, and you'll see now as we come back to the golf ball, your arms still think they need to reach out towards the golf ball over here. And we've got to try to, as we said, let those arms fall down into position. But obviously, when you're swinging a golf club as fast as you are, instinct will take over. So as we start coming back in the golf ball here now, the arms sort of still reaching out for that ball, club face therefore still a little bit open, and the ball then starting off slightly towards your right target. Because you weren't so far from the ball, you were able to control that face a little bit better. So the spin was certainly dropping, but it's going to take a bit of practice to get that club face back to the ball in a more square position, rather than that sort of open position with the club face pointing over here off to the right. So work on that setup, get yourself, say, a little bit closer to the golf ball, a bit more relaxed over the golf ball at address. The focus then is going to be on this left wrist at the top of the backswing, getting this good. So once this becomes kind of natural and what you just do, you can then start focusing on this downswing of the arms coming more down this way and through, as opposed to reaching out for where the golf ball used to be, but isn't there now. So I hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously, please feel free to give me a shout, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers, Nigel.